Racing Series returns to ETV Live on Tuesday nights following the Fast Track Racing Series radio show. After organizing a highly successful team series in 2010, Jerry Wolf is back with some kick butt, take no prisoners, team racing action like you have never seen before. The ATV Live Team Racing Series is sponsored by HD Radio Network live on Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't wimp out, dude. Catch the action live at etv-eplay.net.
Welcome to the second season for the ETV Live Team Series. This season presented by MTCO.com. We're kicking things off this season here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for 100 laps of competition. And if we are in for a show from last season, it's going to be a great season once again. My name is Kyle Young. I will be bringing you live flag-to-flag coverage of tonight's event with my broadcast partner, Evan Pasoko. Evan, it's great to have you along on board here for the second season of the ETV Live Team Series.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it now on Sunday nights. We got the Chevy Silverado trucks going on now, so a big change for that. And it's great to start it off at such an iconic racetrack such as Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's going to be 100 laps of under-the-lights racing, and it should be a good opening night.
Indeed, it showed a lot of changes. For this second season, and along with that, we have a lot of new drivers and new teams a part of this second season. So let's go over those drivers and teams for you here real quick. The first team that we got up on the lineup here, we have the Crossed Up Motorsports teams returning for Season 2. A new lineup for those guys. That team consists of Larry Mulliken, Tony Bowling, Billy Weeks, and Sean Brown, the four-man lineup for Crossed Up Motorsports.
And we also have the RSR Midnight Thunder team, and their four drivers will be Matt Lacrosse, Josh Cheney, Steven Almindo, and Chad Cole.
Another new team, the RSR Outlaw Truck team, that is going to be supported by Jimmy North, John Abbott, CJ LeVere, and Bobby Terrell. Three names from last season returning, and a new guy, Jimmy North, new to the series for this season.
And our fourth team, Z-Loop Racing, we're going to have a four-driver team as well, with Larry Scott Jr., Josh Harbison, Aaron Grosskopf, and Justin Boston.
As the field now is starting to load up and take the starting lineup here real quick, and then we will second season for the ETV Live Team Series. On the pole in the number 24 machine, that is Andrew Berger, and to his outside in the number 19, Brendan Cherburko.
Mark Bloy, he qualifies third in his number 18 machine, and Rod Flagg, the number 23, they will make up row number 2.
A new name to the series, the number 81 machine of Mark Arthur. He is on the inside of row number 3 with the number 4 of Kevin Van outside in P6.
Row number 4, the number 15 of Larry Scott Jr. qualifying in 7th, and number 21, Matt Botempi, taking 8th.
Rounding out the top 10 in row number 5, the number 10 machine of John Abbott making a return to Season 2, and a newcomer, the number 17 in P10, that is Frank Busialia III.
Row 6 will be a teammate matchup, the number 26, Brandon Lennard on the inside, and Ray Kingsbury to his right. They make up row 6.
Row 7 on the inside, starting 13th, the number 22 machine of Terrence Donovan, into his outside, Matt Kingsbury's number 28 machine in 14th.
Qualified 15th is the number 7 of Steven Almindo, and qualifying 16th, the number 27 machine of Jimmy Jones.
Jimmy Jones is going to finish out the drivers who qualified for the event. The other drivers here not taking time. 17th spot, CJ LeVere in the number 11 machine. He makes a return, and another return driver, Billy Weeks in the number 30. He starts 18th as the field starts to roll off the grid.
We also have Matt Lacrosse, who qualified in the 19th position, and Glenn Hedrick, his 29th machine, will qualify 20th, making up row 10.
Larry Mulliken back in the number 1 machine for season number 2. He will roll off 21st with Tony Bowling to his outside in truck number 3.
Truck number 2 in 23rd position will be Sean Brown, and right next to him, the number 6 of Josh Cheney will be 24th.
And rounding out the final row for tonight's opener for the second season of the ETV Live Team Series, row 13. Yeah, row 13. Aaron Grosskopf in the number 13 machine. He will roll off 25th, with Joshua Harbison in the 16, rolling off 26, scratch on the field for tonight's 100-lap event.
And it should be good here. We're currently pacing down the back straightaway. Trucks are doubled up, the lights are off on the pace car, and we're going to get ready for some green flag racing real soon here as the pace car works into turn number 3, and it's time to kick off the ETV Team Series season number 2 at Charlotte.
Indeed it is, Evan. We've got a lot of exciting changes for this season. We're on Sunday nights. We got the trucks. We're heading to a road course this season. We got some new drivers, some new teams, and it's all about to kick off right here. The Ford Mustang pace car is going to dive down to the safety of pit road and put the field in the hands of Andrew Berger's number 24 machine. He hits the gas. We're green flag and underway with Season 2 of the ETV Live Team Series.
19, Brandon Chaburko pulls right in behind the number 24 of Andrew Berger. That 23 machine, Rod Flagg, took a peek to the outside before the 19 machine came down. Now they're going to single file out right up here at front, pulling position. Going to be Andrew Berger, but Brandon Chaburko is not giving up first place at all right away here. He is right in the bumper of that number 24 truck.
Brandon Chaburko showing a bit of a super speedway tandem going down the back straightaway. He ruins his turn 3 entry, though. He goes way wide, and that's going to allow Rod Flagg and the 23 machine to look underneath. They hit the quad oval, can't make the pass. Andrew Berger leads lap number 1 for the second season here, and he will hang on to the lead. Brandon Chaburko goes way back out to the outside again, going to get the inside to Rod Flagg. Rod can't quite make it happen. Chaburko's got that run on the outside line to continue to battle. Meanwhile, Mark Loy is starting to stick his nose into the battle and looks to the outside of Rod Flagg in turn number 4, and we have a caution on the speedway.
And that's right, the number 15 machine, Larry Scott Jr. going into turn number 3, lap 2. He was side by side with the 17 of Frank Bucciolali. And 17 pushed up slightly. 15 looks like he tried to make his arc into turn 3. 15 came down and snapped back up into the outside retaining wall. And the number 10 machine of John Abbott had nowhere to go. He was collected in that incident, and maybe the 5 got some damage. Looks like the 6. So some cars with some minor damage, but that 15 truck is tore up.
Indeed he is, Evan. Looks like Larry Scott Jr. getting the worst of that incident as he has heavy damage. He's spewing some smoke out of the back of that number 15 Z-Loop team truck. And not the way that he and his team wanted to start out. A pretty significant crash here on lap number 2, taking out a couple of pretty strong contenders early. And as mentioned, the 15 looks like he's got the worst of it. We'll have to see who will be able to fix damage and who is done for the night. Back up front, we're going to see if there's any pit strategy going on. Nope, looks like the majority of the field's staying out for right now.
And that's right, just getting going here. Everybody's real anxious. They had a little bit of an off season, and they want to go for it. And you saw it there on that restart. Nobody was really sitting back trying to gain positions, and we had a good battle for the lead there between the number 24 and 19 trucks. And the number 23, Rod Flagg, was in the picture. He slid back of it. He was actually passed by the 18 of Mark Glow, and there was quite a good battle for 6th position. That was right where the wreck actually occurred. Mark Arthur, he was actually holding off that 15 truck for a while. They were side by side for about 1.5 laps there. Good battle, but unfortunately the 17 got a little bit loose under the 15, which brought out our first caution.
Some great racing being shown early. That can only be a sign of good things as we progress through the rest of this race and through the rest of the season. If you did not join us last season for the first season, why didn't you? It was a great season, and we're glad that you're here for Season 2. For those returning back from Season 1, welcome back aboard. It should be another great season as it was in Season 1, and we're looking forward to some great racing action as the field's working through 3 and 4 right now under pacing laps, and should be getting ready to go back green here momentarily.
Yeah, safety crew doesn't have much to clean up on the track. Maybe a little oil. They'll get that dried up, and we'll get ready to go racing. They might even take the lights off this time by, so we might get the 1 to go signal here. Not too sure. It looks like everybody's pretty much in line and ready to go. And there's lots of changes for this season. You did mention we're going to have a road course. That'll be really exciting. We also have 8 teams of 4 drivers. So when everyone's here, it's going to be a pretty packed field, and the lights are off on the pace car. So 1 to go. The leaders are doubled up. Everybody else is going to also. And we're going to take the green flag to hit lap 6.
some of the expansion with the new teams here. I'm seeing from the front row, we have 2 Super Speedway Cup teams. Remember, we had one last season. They were in contention, and I believe actually they were our champions last season. So they are here to defend the title with a second team, the Super Speedway Cup North and South teams. So they have 8 drivers respectively coming here with Season 2 with plans to repeat and continue to show their strength.
And that's right, you can see the 2 different Super Speedway Cup teams. They each have a member right now on the front row. 24, Andrew Berger, he will be restarting first, and his number 24 for Super Speedway Cup North. And then the 19 of Brandon Traburco, he's Super Speedway Cup South. So they're going to be side by side here for the restart, and we're getting ready to go back green.
Indeed we are, Evan. The Ford Mustang pace car getting ready to duck back down onto pit road and put it in the hands of Andrew Berger once again. We're going to get the restart here to complete lap 5. 5 down, 95 to go when we take the green flag. Pace car on pit road. Berger hits the gas. Nope, he's going to slow it back up. Now he's on the gas and the green flag is back out.
And that's the real advantage of being the leader, is you can go when you hit the restart box, so to speak, and you can go as late as the green flag, and nobody else can jump that on you, so you really have control. But the number 19, Brandon Traburco, again, wasting no time. He gets right to the bumper of that 24 truck. As they went in turn 1, he takes a little look to the left. He's going to pull back in line. Right on this bumper, though, not giving much room. He's going to follow him into turn number 3.
Going to make a peek to the outside through 3 and 4. Going to fall back in line and stay tucked up right underneath of him and continue to push Andrew Berger around this track. Meanwhile, Mark Gloy trying to catch up, and just behind him, side-by-side racing for the 4th position, we have 2 Super Speedway Cup North teammates, the 21 machine of Matt Bontempi and Rod Flagg, and the 23 going side-by-side for position. Looking to the middle there, that's number 81 of Mark Arthur. He's going to slip down to the inside. The 21 of Bontempi is going to be able to clear. On the outside, Rod Flagg has to deal with Arthur. He loses that spot, and now the 26 machine of Brendan Leonard, he is starting to file on by Rod Flagg. So Rod Flagg getting hung out on the outside here, trying to keep up his battle, but unfortunately he's losing a little bit.
And he's going to get a little bit of a run off the corner, but he really needs that preferred lane on the inside. You see he gets the run off there. Now the 26 machine of Brandon Leonard, he's going to look to the outside. He's obviously staying dedicated to that bottom. Rod Flagg looks like he's hanging on pretty good. He's not going to give up those positions easily. 81 maybe gets a little bit loose, and here comes the 4 machine also of Kevin Van. He's looking in the wings. Now the 26 looks to the inside. He's going to check up, almost gets in the grass as the 81 and the 23 are still side by side into turn number 1. Give the advantage to the 81. Here comes the 23 off too.
This is all going on positions 4 through 8 right now. Side by side for the 5th spot, Mark Arthur and Rod Flagg still dead even as I head into turn number 3. Rod Flagg holding his own on the top side. The 26 behind Brendan Leonard gets a little bit loose. He's able to hang on, trying to push Mark Arthur right on by the 23 so he can get a stab at trying to battle him for the position. But Rod Flagg holding his own. He's making that top side work, and it's putting on one heck of a show. Mark Arthur struggling a little bit, not expecting him to have as much of a run on the top side as he would have liked.
Yeah, the 23 Rod Flagg doing a real good job hanging on the high side. You see he gets a little bit up out of the groove, but he's going to get the run off the corner, can come to the gas a little bit quicker than that 81, and they are still side by side. This battle's been going on ever since we went back green at lap 6, and this is some great racing. The 26 also, Brendan Leonard, he's not getting over patient, so to speak. He's just hanging out behind the 81 machine, just waiting to see if one of them makes a mistake and he can make his move. And right behind him, another side-by-side battle, the number 4 Kevin Van and Frank in the number 17 machine. They are still side-by-side, so this area, it seems, positions about 4th through 9th. They've been real busy this entire race, and they're still side-by-side now as the 26 Brandon Leonard still looking, trying to maybe get low on that 81 truck. It's not working. They are still racing pretty good, though.
And like you had mentioned, behind them, Frank Bucialio III making his move around the number 4 machine of Kevin Van. He slides into the 8th spot, and now that's going to bring Ray Kingsbury and Jimmy Jones, 2 new drivers to the series this season. They are going to close back up. So this main battle with Rod Flagg starting to hold everybody up behind them, and they're starting to get more and more trucks adding on to the tail end of this battle. Behind them, the number 29 machine, that is Glenn Hedrick. He's there. Steven Almando, he is there. CJ Lavere, Matt Kingsbury, a long train of trucks right here battling for position, but keeping it clean, and that is exactly what we like to see, and it's putting on one heck of a show early here in this race.
You're absolutely right there. Now the 23 Rod Flag, he's finally done it. He is now in front of that 17 truck of Frank Busiali, and that is for 6th position. Now the 81 Mark Arthur currently in 5th. And it's not that it's bunching them up as much as you're not losing a lot of speed. They're still going pretty fast, but the preferred line would be to swing all the way up to the wall on the exit of a corner. You can't do that when there's another truck there. And we have a battle for 10th now. Jimmy Jones looked to the inside of the 25 of Ray Kingsbury there, or 26 machine, sorry. Looked to the inside there, couldn't get it done. Now he's going to take another peek. It's the 25 that's hanging in the wings there. They are side by side for the 9th position. Everybody's going for it.
Indeed, they are side by side still through the quad of Kevin Van, the number 4 machine, and the Last Lap Motorsports number 25 of Ray. Actually, no, that's the 26. Excuse me, of Brandon Leonard. They're side by side off of turn number 2. Leonard trying to hang on to the spot under attack. Looks like Kevin Van's got the advantage heading into turn number 3. Can he use it to his advantage? No, he can't. Leonard sticks tough on the top side. He's going to try and make that run work off the top. Can't quite do it. Lost a little bit of ground. Kevin Van clears, and he will take over the 8th spot.
And I think the 26 truck got a little bit loose there. He managed to get right back in the gas. The 4 car managed to get by them, and here comes the 27, the 26, the 25, and the 27. All those 3 guys are teammates, and they are all running in a row. But here comes the 7, Steven Almindo, looking to the inside of the 27 of Jimmy Jones for the 12th position, I believe. Breaking up that team tango, so to speak, is now the 11 car. Also, CJ Lavere is taking a look. Looks like the 27 may have gotten loose or something, got out of his rhythm, and he is slowly dropping back now. The 7 clears him, and the number 11, CJ Lavere, now looking to take that position as well.
Steven Almindo and CJ Lavere looking to break up that Last Lap Motorsports train and put their team colors up into the mixture here. Steven Almindo supporting the Midnight Thunder crew, and CJ Lavere's number 11 machine is a part of the Real Sim Racing team. A nice looking paint for that team this season, and Lavere a part of the series last season with the Full Throttle team. So he is back here with new colors, new team, and making some progress as he just worked around the Last Lap Motorsports truck of Ray Kingsbury.
And that's right. Now the 29 machine, Glenn Hedrick, takes a look on that number 25 machine, I believe it is. Yes, he is in front of the 27. So lots of position changing happening around this 10th position. Your leaders are pretty much the same, except for the fact that Brandon Chaburko, who was right on that bumper of the 24 of Andrew Berger for the most of the time, he has now relinquished that position to the 18 of Mark Gloy, who is now trying to maybe battle for the lead as he looks to the inside on turn number 3. 24 gives him the room and then pitches him down, making the block, and Andrew Berger is going to maintain the lead. But that 18 truck is continuously trying to look for a way around.
Indeed, he is. He is all over the back bumper, and that is allowing Brendan Chaburko to kind of close in a little bit. And these guys have just over 2.5 seconds on the rest of the field behind them. So a 3-truck breakaway. They've got some room to race if they feel like it is necessary. So they're going at it here now as Mark Gloy looking to the inside of Andrew Berger. He's got the truck underneath. He pushes a little bit, can't quite keep it in the throttle. He's going to lose that one, and now here comes Brendan Chaburko. He's going to peek to the inside. They'd make contact. Chaburko gets a little squirrely. Now he's spinning into turn number 1. Brendan Chaburko slides on the apron. He saves it, no caution.
What a save by the 19, Brandon Chaburko. That car was sideways. I could see all the sponsors on the side of it from up here in the booth. He tried to look down low on the 18 truck, and the 18 didn't see him there. Tried to force something maybe. 19 goes sliding, and he manages to hang onto it. He's going to lose quite a lot of positions. I believe he's back around 17th position right now, but a good save managing to keep that race truck on its tires and in competition for the races. This is a 100-lap race. We're on lap 22, nearing a quarter of the way through. And this whole group that has been hanging out, starting at about 6th place with the number 4 of Kevin Vaughn that we've pretty much been following for the majority of this latest green flag run, they are all running very close to each other. And with the way that these trucks are very loose, it is some great driving as 26th position, or 26th For 11th position, Brandon Lenard now goes down low on the 10 machine to gain that position as well.
All sorts of side-by-side racing here in the middle of the pack. Brandon Leonard just getting clear. Jimmy Jones now and the number 3 of Tony Bowling. They're all starting to work their way around the 11 truck of C.J. LeVere. LeVere actually... I don't know what he is for a position. I didn't see him quite there on the leaderboard. So he drops back quite a few positions, and it looks like he had some front-end damage to his truck. So might have gotten into somebody there and it lost some time. The last lap Motorsports teammates here, Brendan Leonard and Jimmy Jones, they look to be about ready to do some battling, but they decided not to. Tony Bowling right there splitting up the 4 last lap Motorsport teammates. There as Bowling sits in the 13th. Now he's looking way down to the inside, almost making it 3 wide. He backs out of it, can't quite get the run, and now Jimmy Jones to the inside of the 26 of Brandon Leonard. He's going to make that pass work off of turn number 4. Tony Bowling going to try and follow through. The 25 of Ray Kingsbury right behind him. Kingsbury now peaks to the top on the quiet oval. Not going to make the move heading into the 1 side-by-side again between the 26 and the 27.
And Brandon Chaburka, who was 3rd, he slid through the grass. He is wasting no time working his way back. They're almost 3 wide on the back straightaway for position number 16 as he goes around the number 25 of Ray Kingsbury. They're going to be side-by-side into turn number 3, as well as the 26 and the 3 of Ray Kingsbury and Tony Bowling. They are also side-by-side. And great battle. He is working his way up. I believe that is now for 15th position. I do believe 14th position now for the 19. And back up front in 3rd position, we have a battle for 3rd. Since Traburco's no longer there, Rod Flagg assumed that position, but here comes the number 17 of Frank Buciali down low, and he's going to make the pass. Looks like the 23 let him go. 17 will now go into the top 3.
17, Frank Buciali, the 3rd, cracks the bottom step of the podium, and he's been on a charge. He's been working his way through the field ever since we went back Green Flag Racing. Unfortunately, he has about 4 seconds to try to reel in leaders Andrew Berger and Mark Gloy, who the 2 of them are actually sticking pretty close to each other and racing quite hard. Mark can't quite get to him to try to make anything happen quite yet, but still a long way to go as we're just completing lap number 27. They have a 4-second advantage over the field, kind of just riding it out and see what happens here before he makes the serious move to try to get to the front.
And they are definitely the 2 fastest trucks on the racetrack right now. Andrew Berger just ran his last lap with a 30.49. Mark Gloy ran a 30.45. They're pretty much about the same time. And then all the other trucks like Frank Buciali and Rod Flagg are running 30.5, 30.6s. So they're not quite as fast as our 2 leaders. And those leaders have opened up about a 4.1 second gap on 3rd position. So they are pulling away with this, so to speak, as everybody else was battling side by side. They were just running their line and getting a gap.
Frank Buciali, the 3rd, and Rod Flagg, they've kind of gapped away from C.J. LeVere a little bit, as they have about a second and a half over him, as 3rd and 4th breaking away. C.J. LeVere about half a second ahead of Kevin Van in the former scene. So some of these guys starting to break away and kind of run on their own, while the middle of the pack all doing a heck of a job with some Green Flag Racing and a lot of side-by-side passing.
And that's right, we do have a couple cars a laps down, actually, just to mention. Aaron Grosskopf, his number 13 machine, he's currently running 22nd position. He's 2 laps down. Then Matt Lacrosse, 7 laps down. He was back on pit road. I believe he was involved in that first incident. He drove into it, had nowhere to go. They went back on the racetrack hoping for a caution. They could come down and pit, get that lucky dog, but he is now back down pit road looking like he's finishing those repairs. But back up front still, Andrew Berger, Mark Gloy, and Frank Buciali the 3rd are your top 3, and Rod Flagg and C.J. LeVere will be 4th and 5th.
Yeah, you mentioned Matt Lacrosse sitting in the pits to try to repair the truck and get things going. Remember that how you score points in this series is that you have 4 drivers per team. The top 3 finishing drivers for that team will score points for the night, and the total points scored of those 3 drivers are added up, and that is the point total for the team in the championship standings. So right now, the number 5 machine, Matt Lacrosse, he's sitting 9 laps down. He's part of the Midnight Thunder team, trying to get repaired to get back out on the track, so in case something happens to one of his teammates and they cannot continue, he is still there to be able to score some points for the team. They may not be great, but something is better than nothing.
And definitely, he has another teammate too, the number 6 machine, Josh Cheney, who is also part of that RSR Midnight Thunder team. Josh is 17 laps down, and Matt is 10. And you mentioned the first 3, or top 3 finishing drivers for that team will be scored for points, so that's not looking good for them. Of course, it's only one car, so if their other 2 cars, or 2 trucks, so to speak, sorry, I keep forgetting this is trucks now. If their other 2 trucks are doing good, it won't be too bad of a night, but definitely not a way to start off your season.
Indeed, it is not, but fortunately for them, it is a long season. They can make things back up. Just it helps to get that momentum started right off the bat, and to get the team riled up and feeling good about having a strong run right away. But a couple bullets out of the barrel early for Midnight Thunder, but they've got some time to make it up.
And your leader, Andrew Berger, has opened up a little bit of a gap on the 18 of Mark Gloy. We saw Mark a couple laps ago just hanging out maybe a truck or half a truck length off of Andrew. Now that has been opened up to a 0.5 second lead for first and second position. And now we have Frank Bucciali III being challenged for third position. Here comes Rod Flagg in his number 23 machine. Down the back straightaway, 17, slow up high, and the 23 is going to go by him.
To move the 23 of Rod Flagg up into the third position, Frank Bucciali not happy about that. He's going to try and charge back to the middle of the turn, and he's peeking to the inside as ahead of the quad over. Nearly touches the corner panel. Can't quite get to the inside. He falls back in line, and he's going to have to settle with the 4th spot for right now. Rod Flagg hangs on and tries to pull away, using the middle line to his advantage and trying to separate himself from Frank Bucciali III. Frank looks low, tucks back up behind, doesn't have room to make it happen on the inside. He's going to look to the top side, try to get a run off of turn 4 and challenge him on the quad oval, but loses time and will not be able to do that, increasing the gap for Rod Flagg.
And I'll tell you right now, the fastest truck on the racetrack, 9th place, the number 19 truck, Brandon Chaburko. He was in the top 3, spun through the grass, saved it, was in 19th. He has gained 10 positions since then under green. He is currently running 9th place, and he is looking to gain more. As you can see, the 29 and the 4 of Glenn Hedrick and Kevin Van in his foresight, and he is looking to get those positions. That truck is moving.
Indeed it is, Evan. We've seen how strong Brandon has been in the past competing with us last season, and he is showing no signs of fading from the off-season. He's back, he is ready to go, he's excited to go, and he wants to contend. He knows what he lost. He lost a ton of time, but he's got the truck settled back in. He's calmed down a little bit, and he's ready to fight back, and he's starting to close in as Kevin Van and Glenn Hedrick are running side by side. Hedrick, a teammate to Brendan Chaburko, and the number 20 in the 19. They are part of the Super Speedway Cup South team. They are supported by their gray trucks out here. You can see them from that as now Chaburko catches these two. He looks to the top side to try and pass teammate Glenn Hedrick and try to follow Kevin Van around the top side. That is exactly what he's going to do, side by side for the 8th position, Brendan Chaburko and Glenn Hedrick.
And that's right, the 19 pushed that number 4 truck of Kevin Van into turn number 3. And obviously when you're racing side by side with someone, you're not going to be as quick, but this 19 truck is on a mission. He's going to look to the bumper of the 29. 29 gets loose off of that, comes back up onto the racetrack. What a save there. The 29, Glenn Hedrick, goes down through the infield, comes back, saves it. 19 truck, Brandon Chaburko checks up, and no incident. That was some great driving.
I'm sure that wasn't by design between the two Super Speedway Cup South teammates, but they were able to get around Kevin Van, and now Van losing a spot to Tony Bowling. But an excellent save by the number 29 of Glenn Hedrick, using all of the grass that he could. He nearly got taken back out when he came back up in front of Brandon Chaburko. Chaburko able to recognize that, checked up a little bit, and stayed off of him. We stayed clean and green through 40 laps of competition, 10 laps away from halfway, and we are about 23 minutes into this race. Time ticks when you're running green flag here, so Chaburko probably hoping for a caution so they can get regrouped up so he can have a shot to get back up front. But for right now, he's making it work. He's got about 2 seconds back from Steven Almindo in the number 7 truck, so he's got a little bit of work. Maybe he can use that 29 to try to push him up there.
And that's right in that 19 truck. Brandon Traberco now in 7th position. His teammate Glenn Hedrick thought he might have been holding him up, knows that 19 truck's faster, and he saw it there. He pulled up in turn 3, let him by. So that truck assumes the 7th position. And you mentioned time is flying. We're already on lap 42. The leaders are now on 43, actually, out of this 100-lap race. We've had just under 40-lap green flag run since we had our quick early caution. And so far, it's been Andrew Berger out front all night. Mark Gloy challenged for it for a bit. He has now dropped off 1.5 seconds back. That truck obviously not running too well in the long run. They'll get that fixed when they come into pit. Get that truck all fixed up, maybe some slight adjustments, and go at it again. But definitely a caution would help many drivers here, as now there's a side-by-side battle between the 21, 27 cars back for 11th position. And it looks like the 27 of Jimmy Jones will take that position and gain 11th.
Matt Bontempi surrendering the spot to Jimmy Jones, and now he's got a mirror full of Mark Arthur in the 81. Mark dropped off a ton since the start of this green flag run. I'm sure he's hoping for a caution, or at least looking to get down on a pit road as soon as he can. He was running around the top 5, now he's dropped back to 13th. He's trying to get around the 21 of Matt Bontempi for 12, but can't quite do it just yet. Bontempi, a part of the Super Speedway Cup North team. Mark Arthur, a Twisty Motorsports driver here this season, so you can look for those drivers in the 21 and 81 trucks throughout the entire season, as now Matt Bontempi starts to grow a gap between Mark Arthur and tries to run back down the 27 of Jimmy Jones.
And that's right, it looks like the 27 truck may have a little bit of rear end damage, and I know about 10 laps after we went green, we were following that large pack of trucks right around where this position was, and we heard that there was a big checkup. The number 11 CJ Lavere came over the radio, said checking up, let everybody know, and that might have been a result of that. I know you mentioned maybe that the 11 may have had some cosmetic damage, so a lot of trucks may be slightly bruised and battered, but nothing that these guys can't handle, as these are some of the best truck drivers, and they are working great in teams. Now the 24 Andrew Berger will take lap 47, and they are starting to talk about pit stops.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised. I was kind of thinking that they should be thinking about making pit stops here soon, and they've been green flagged for about 42 laps or so here. So I'm sure the fuel tanks are a little empty, the tires are a little sore, and they need some refreshing. Maybe not for Andrew Berger's sake, though, as he's opened up a 2.5-second lead here on lap 47. I want to give a quick update on Josh Chaney. He has taken his number 6 machine behind the wall. He has stepped out of that truck. He is done for the night. So Josh Chaney, not the way he wanted to start his season. Unfortunately, he's going to have to call it quits here early in the going. And I'm sure he's looking forward to getting back out on the track next week.
And things got real tight there for 12th position. The 21 and the 81 were side by side. That's Matt Bontempi and Mark Arthur. They were working their way around our one truck that is 1 lap down, which is Ray Kingsbury, who he has lost that lap. Not the best truck under his hands. And the 81, 21 were side by side there as we were approaching that lap traffic, which caused the 21 to have to check up. And now the 21 makes contact with the outside wall off turn number 4.
Bontempi getting a little upset with his truck right now. He lost the spot to Mark Arthur, so he drops back to the 12th spot. Arthur takes 11th, and he's trying to pull away. Bontempi right now battling side by side with Billy Weeks in the 30 machine for the 12th spot. Billy on the outside, Bontempi on the inside. He's going to try and slide up and block him. Billy Weeks is like, not going to happen. He flies by now. Matt Bontempi brings his number 21 truck down to pit road. He's going to start the cycle of green flag pit stops.
And that's right, green flag pit stops are starting, and that was a great entry. He hit 45 miles an hour right as he hit the 2 speed cones, so to speak, that tell you got to be at pit road speed. So that was a great entrance for that 21 truck, and I don't think he's going to be the only one. We've heard the 24 of Andrew Berger coming over, asking race control, confirming the rules for pit stops first. So watch for that truck to come down. But I don't think he would mind if they didn't have to. He is just pulling away now. The 18 of Mark Gloy, who is 2nd position. He's now 3.5 seconds ahead of him, and he's consistently running about 0.2 or 0.3 quicker a lap. So that 24 truck is definitely fast.
Indeed it is, and a couple laps ago we took the cross flags. We are over halfway through This one is now getting reports. The number 18 machine, he has spun out on the racetrack. No caution as of yet. He's in the infield and now brings it down to pit road. Looks like he's got some rear end damage and he's got some toe problems on that number 18 machine. A huge break, an unfortunate break for that number 18 machine of Mark Gloy. He's got some problems, doesn't even get a yellow for it, so that's going to pour some salt in the wound just a little bit more. Tough break for the 18 of Mark Gloy.
And definitely, we saw that truck was just going away from him, and he had very little speed. And it looks like he may have been trying to come down to pit road. He was very slow and got nailed by the 17 truck as he was there. 17 went into the wall, and that 18 truck got airborne, pretty smashed up that bumper, and went spinning into the tri-oval grass, which is why there was no caution. Tough break for that 18 truck. They were having a strong night, but that truck was slowly getting away from them. And we are seeing lots of shuffling now as pit stops are cycling through, but your leader, Andrew Berger, is still out on the racetrack.
Indeed he is, Evan. I'm surprised he hasn't come down yet. We got to be ready to see him in at least 3 to 5 laps, I would think, here soon. And, you mentioned the incident, as actually now Andrew Berger starts to check up in turn number 4. He brings his number 24 machine down to pit road, the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit. He is there, and he makes his way down pit road and heads to his crew. You mentioned about the pit road accident. This is one of the toughest pit roads to get onto that these drivers are going to have to experience. It's so difficult to try to slow up and get down to the flat and be able to make a pit road speed. You don't have a lot of room to do that when you got traffic all spread out around you, especially on this long green flag run. It can be challenging.
And one thing that these drivers do not want to see in the middle of green flag pit stops would be a caution. I'm looking, we have 12 cars on the lead lap who have obviously either not pitted or just pitted, and 13th, CJ Olivera, he's the first car lap down, his number 11 truck. He's the first truck a lap down, so if a caution would come out now, you get stuck down there on pit road, you lose a lap, that could really shake things up, so that's definitely not what these drivers want to hear. As now the 27 truck is going to come down pit road. That's Jimmy Jones, who is currently being shown second. He's come down pit road this time by.
So we're working our way through green flag pit stops right now. As it currently stands, the number 7 machine of Steven Almindo, he is your leader as he makes it down on the pit road. Jimmy Jones on the 27, he comes down to pit road now to make their green flag stops. A little bit of damage to the right front fender for the number 7 machine of Steven Almindo. So hopefully the crew is able to give a couple of tugs on that to clear the tire of any tire rub, because that could cause a major problem for that team. But hopefully they don't lose too much time in the process of doing that, and then get Steven back out on the track in a quick, manly fashion. Joshua Harbison's number 16 machine now sitting atop of the standings as he makes his way down on pit road now as well.
That's right, and we're almost at the end of green flag pit stops. 27 truck is just leaving pit road now. That's Jimmy Jones. Steven Almindo, you mentioned he was your leader. He has just exited the pit. They didn't do much damage control. He got in, and as soon as those 4 tires were done, he got moving, and he's pulling out on the back stretch right now. So as we're still cycling through, it's still being shown as the 16 of Joshua Harbison, your leader. He has just left his pit stall. A little bit later stop for him, not as quick as he may have wanted. So it'll be interesting to see who is where as we continue to cycle through these stops.
At the line there, Andrew Berger claimed the lead back, and he had the lead over Joshua Harbison by 4.4 seconds. Harbison obviously is going to fall down through the standings a little bit as he's still making coming off of pit road. So I'm going to assume that Andrew Berger made a huge leap and about doubled his lead through these pit stops. So I'm sure that is a very comforting feeling for Andrew Berger here in the number 24 machine. Yep, a 6.5 second lead over CJ Olivera now in the number 11 truck. And I'm looking at the laps we got at the line. We're going to have 41 laps to go. I'm thinking they might be able to make it the rest of the way. We had about 50 laps or so when they made their pit stop cycle through. So these guys might be able to go the rest of the way. And with the field being so spread out, we might see this thing go caution-free.
And that's definitely what I was thinking. Maybe that was why the 24 truck stayed out. As we mentioned, we went green again on lap 6 after our first caution, so you can't take out the 1 or 2 laps that we ran, plus a little bit of caution laps on fuel. But they did go about 45 laps, and Andrew Berger brought it down, and they have 40 to go. So I believe they should be good to go for the rest of the race now. But Brandon Traburco, his 19 truck is now up to third. That's a big jump, as well as the 11 CJ LeVere now taking over second place.
Lots of shuffling through the leaderboard after green flag pit stops. It's Andrew Berger in the number 24 machine for the Super Speedway Cup and North team out in front with 40 laps to go. We're going to take a quick commercial break here. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the opening round of the ETV Live Team Series Season 2.
If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway here for the opening round of the ETV Live Team Series for the second season. Nothing has changed out front for the number 24 of Andrew Berger. He continues to open up his lead now, a 7.2 second lead over CJ LeVere, and unless something happens to this guy, I don't think anybody is going to be able to beat him. Andrew Berger might be looking to start the season off right and go to victory lane, but he's still got 35 laps before he can officially say he's done that.
And that's right. After we cycle through green flag pit stops, he has a 7-second lead over the second place truck. That's the 11 of CJ LeVere, as you just mentioned. And he is still running 0.2 a lap quicker. So that number 24 truck is flying. And one truck that I was surprised to see drop was the 23 of Rod Flagg, who's currently sitting in 13th position. He was up there as we were entering the green flag pit stops. He has now dropped pretty significantly, and there's a battle going on for position right in front of him. Number 30 truck of Billy Weeks and the 81 of Mark Arthur are battling all for 11th position as they all single file out down the backstretch.
Little swapping for position going on there. As you mentioned, they get single file. Rod Flagg looks like he's got some right front damage. Might have gotten into the wall or gotten into another truck during the cycle of pit stops. So, but yeah, he was running up from third place. He dropped down to 13th. So something happening, and unfortunately, that's going to hurt the Super Speedway Cup North team a little bit, as he was right up there, Andrew Berger, a part of that team, and he is currently leading the race. So a bit of a blow for that team. Obviously, Andrew, if he's able to hold off and get the win, that'll definitely help cushion that blow a little bit, but could have been a little bit better had Rod Flagg not had such a dramatic drop in position. But a little further up ahead, we got some trucks running side by side. That's the 16 of Joshua Harbison and the 3 of Tony Bowling. They are fighting it out for the 9th place spot as they go side by side down the back straightaway. Mark Arthur sticking his nose in the battle, and the number 30 of Billy Weeks is able to close in as well.
And that's right. It'll be interesting to see the number 3 truck, Tony Bowling, trying to make it stick on the high side. We saw that almost made contact with the wall, it looks like, but it's the 16 with the advantage. They're side by side at the line. It'll be interesting to see what trucks can make it stick on the high side. We saw earlier in the race a big pack. 16 pushes up. 81 almost went under him. Can't get the sentence in, but it'll be interesting to see who can hang on to it on the high side and not let that low line pick on you. And it looks like that 3 truck is doing pretty good holding off that 16. He's staying true to his line, running his line, and he has so far kept the lead. 16 is going to take another look, and they're going to be side-by-side through the trials.
Mark Arthur making contact for the outside wall. He's able to hang on, though. He cut right in front of Billy Weeks. They were not able to make contact, though. And the 16 is sideways again. He pushes up the track. He's not going to lose one. He's not going to lose two. But now he's looking to lose 3 spots from that wiggle. Mark Arthur, Billy Weeks, and Rod Flag are able to go by. So the 16 of Joshua Harbison, he's fighting a bit of a loose truck behind his 16 machine. And now we've got the 28 of Matt Kingsbury. Or actually, no, that's the 26 machine of Brandon Leonard. Something must have gone wrong with his truck, as he's sitting 7 laps down right now in the 19th spot.
And yeah, we saw as we were entering that 18 truck, Mark Gloy, who was second position, he was involved in an incident trying to enter pit road, I believe so. He is now back on the racetrack, unfortunately 12 laps down. And another name that we were talking about a lot at the beginning of the race, it was the 17 truck of Frank Busialia III. He is sitting at 18 laps down in his number 17 truck. So lots of shuffling went down there through that green flag pit stops. And that's what always happens. It's going to be, if there's any incidents, and you mentioned one of the hardest pit roads to enter, you got to come in there flying at over 120 miles an hour and slow that thing up to 45 in a very short distance without spinning it out. But back up front, Andrew Berger still opening up his gap now to 8.4 seconds over the second place truck of CJ LeVere.
Looks like the number 19 machine, that's the 7 machine there, is trying to hold off the number 29 of Glenn Hedrick. Hedrick teammates with the 19 machine there. Got the numbers a little mixed up. Steven Almindo and Glenn Hedrick doing some racing here. Hedrick starting to drop off just a little bit, but Almindo starting to lose that now a little bit more as Hedrick starting to close back in. Looks like both of them are running the middle of the high groove through the turns here, as now Hedrick drops down to the bottom to try to make that work. But they're kind of evening out. They're kind of opening it up and then separating it back. And just a little farther back, they're just about a second behind Kevin Van with the number 4 machine. He sees this battle. He's hoping those two kind of get side by side so he can toss his entry in there and make it a 3-car battle for the position for 4th.
In another place that they're battling is at 11th position. We have a 4-car pack here, so to speak. They're side by side. 2 sets of cars are side by side. Oh, and one truck comes up. There's a wreck, it appears, right in turn number 1. I'm not sure who's involved in that incident. We saw one truck come up very slow. That was the 81 truck, was way off of speed, and I saw a bunch of smoke through the trial. I'm not sure what happened.
One of the trucks involved, the Crossed Out Motorsports entry of the number 30 of Billy Weeks. I saw his truck sliding through. How we don't have a caution, I don't know. We're going to get John up there on the replay booth to give us a visual of what happened. Looks like off of turn number 4, the 30 machine and the 81, the 81 got a little bit loose. He came down into the 30 machine, sent the 30 machine spinning through the grass. He kind of got it straightened out by the time he got back onto the racing surface, and then spun back down into the infield, hit the inside wall a little bit, and turned his truck around without the yellow flag being thrown. Mark Arthur was able to continue on. He just lost a lot of time. Billy Weeks definitely got the worst of that. A tough break for his number 30 machine as he lost a lap out of that encounter.
And you're seeing it right here on the E-Line. That was right in front of this big pack of trucks that we were talking about. And those drivers managed to hang on to their trucks. That could have been a lot worse. They could have came up and taken out 6 more trucks, and that could have been a big pileup, destroying some good race cars. So it was lucky that we didn't see a huge incident there, and still no caution. Green flag racing. Lap 78, Andrew Berger, the number 24 truck, is still dominating this lead. And it is Andrew Berger, CJ LeVere, Brandon Chaburko, Steven Almindo, and Glenn Hedrick, your top 5.
Yeah, we're on lap 77 right now, as you had mentioned there, Evan, just past 3/4 of the way through this race. Andrew Berger put the car on cruise control, and he is just riding around here, enjoying his race, trying to just tick the laps down, and hopefully the truck stays intact so he can visit Victory Lane to kick off the season right for the defending Super Speedway Cup champions. That's got to be huge, Evan. Coming into the season after a few weeks off, it's a new vehicle compared to what they had last season. They have the title of defending champion on them. Andrew Berger was a part of that defending championship team. So that's got to be a huge momentum shift and a huge amount of confidence building up for the Super Speedway, not only the Super Speedway North team, but the Super Speedway South team, as I'm sure these two teams are going to be helping each other, as well as having some fun competition against each other.
And that's right, and it shows you how good, or the amount of talent that those two teams have. You hear Super Speedway and you say, well, this isn't that. You're thinking, when you hear Super Speedway, you're thinking Talladega, Daytona. These guys are doing good in this 1.5-mile track, and they're representing their Super Speedway series, which runs Friday nights on ETV Live. So it'll be interesting to see if they can win in Super Speedways and they can win at 1.5 miles. You have to keep them in contention at those road courses. A great overall team, and Andrew Berger's certainly dominating this race as he looks to put the number 2 of Sean Brown another lap down.
Yeah, that road course is definitely circled on my calendar date here, Evan. I can't wait until we get to that point in the season. I don't know what to expect. We didn't have a road course last season, so you don't really know who's good on the road courses and who can do what. So that'll be a big up-in-the-air event, and it should be a great season. And Andrew Berger's thinking that as well, as he's slowly increasing his lead. It's just over 9 seconds now, 13 seconds back to Brennan Chaburko, and another 16 back to Glenn Hendrick, who has cleared Steven Almindo and is now a couple tenths ahead of him.
And that's a 3-car pack there brewing around that 4th position. You see number 7, Steven Almindo, right up on the back bumper of that 30 truck, I do believe it is. 30 truck, I believe, a lap car. Billy Weeks, a lap down. And Steven Almindo is going to try to get around him to get back to that 29 of Glenn Hendrick, who stole that 4th position from him. And now they're going to go by. Here you see 29. Looks like he may have let them go. They're going to pass down on the bottom for 4th position, and they are not up. They are on the radio slightly upset with that 30 truck, commenting how the lap car, they believe, should let them go. 30 truck not slow, just trying to have some fun. Obviously, maybe 7 and 29 not appreciate it so much, not affecting position too much as we work lap 84.
The battling there has allowed the number 4 machine of Kevin Van to close up a little bit, and I'm sure Billy Weeks is a little bit frustrated behind the wheel of that machine. He probably feels he's a little bit faster than those guys. He's ahead of them now. He just kind of wants to get away from them and not have to worry about it. If I was the number 30 machine of Billy Weeks, I would be a little frustrated too, getting caught up in an accident that kind of knocked you out of the top 10, lost the lap, and no caution, and that hurts the worst. For right now, it hasn't done anything, but Steven Almindo is absolutely shoving the 30 machine into these turns.
And he is definitely not happy about that, and it's tough position for that 30 truck. Billy Weeks is the 2nd car a lap down. The 1st car a lap down that would be in that lucky dog position is Larry Mulliken. Larry Mulliken is in turn 3 as Billy Weeks enters turn 1. So I don't believe he's going to catch that 1 truck if a caution were to come out, unless it is that one who is the cause of the caution, or if there's some other incident. So obviously, tough night, not how you want to start off your season, but you guys still have a long way to go, and it's all about your team. So if you got good working teammates, then you will be fine for the rest of the season. You just want to try to start it off on a high note as the 10 truck slow up high.
That is John Abbott. He's currently running 22nd, 13 laps down. He pulls over to let this pack of trucks go by. I believe that is another lap down machine, the 25 of Ray Kingsbury. He is 5 laps down. The last lap Motorsports entry lets these guys go by as well. Kevin Van, he was right up with him, and now he's starting to slip back. And Steven Almindo is kind of using that number 30 truck of Billy Weeks to separate himself from Brennan Chaburko a little bit. Or not Brennan Chaburko, Glenn Hendrick a little bit, as Hendrick trying all he can to get back up to the bumper, but definitely for sure Kevin Van is slipping off of these two.
In a 21 truck, Matt Botempi in 14th position will now fall to the number 24 of Andrew Berger, and he will now become the 1st car lap down, which means that the last truck on the lead lap is the 22 of Terrence Donovan, and the 24 truck just about 3 truck lengths behind him. So 24 just keeps on rolling through, putting cars laps down. Great run as Andrew Berger now 9 seconds ahead of CJ LeVere in 2nd position, and Brandon Chaburko still hanging out in 3rd. We have a little bit of a battle for 4th, as you were mentioning, Steven Almindo and Glenn Hedrick in that 7 and 29 trucks. They're still working with that lap truck of the number 30 of Billy Weeks. Not sure what that situation is there.
Definitely getting interesting throughout this one as we're down onto the back straightaway. Andrew Berger is going to take the finish line here this lap and come to 10 laps to go. The next truck in front of him, the number 22 machine of Terrence Donovan, a teammate to Andrew Berger. The next truck to go a lap down, if Berger can get to him, he hits the line, 10 laps to go. And I was just thinking, after I had uncued the mic, a little fun statistic that Andrew Berger has in his back pocket. Andrew Berger was the actual driver champion of last season. Obviously, that gets overshadowed by the team championship. But if it was to be considered anything, the driver championship did go to Andrew Berger, so he's picking up right where he left off, and it's absolutely impressive to see how well he has dominated this race. He started up front, and he has not looked back at all. He was the pole sitter. He's definitely going to get the most laps led here tonight, and unless he gets a caution or something happens to that truck, I don't see CJ Levere catching up to him, and this one is all Andrew Berger.
And definitely, and he's keeping a cool head, that number 24 truck. He's just running his line, and as you mentioned, he started up front. He is not looking back. Such a strong night, great performance, and he's going to be excited about the season, obviously. This is a whole new race car from what we used last season. We're now in these trucks, so it's good to see that you're running strong, and obviously a big confidence booster, especially for your team. If you know one driver's looking good, obviously they work together to work on setups, and it's such a team effort. You did mention he did get the drivers championship, so good night so far for the 24, looking to close it out as he's currently on lap 94. He's going to come by next time by for 6 laps to go.
So I'm going to kind of look into here as I was looking through the order. 4 of the top 5 drivers currently out on the racetrack right now were from last season, so these guys from last season showing their strength and showing that they are here to play. The fact that they are now in these NASCAR Camping World trucks compared to the NASCAR Nationwide Series cars that they were in last season, that doesn't seem to be affecting them at all. They are here, they are competing well, and they are going to be supporting their teams every inch of the way. And they're looking for some good races here in the future throughout this season. It's been a fairly quick race. We've only had that one caution back on lap 2. We've been green flag ever since, and now Andrew Berger is going to come off of turn 4 and take the start-finish line. 5 laps to go. So pretty much at this point, the next flag is going to end this race. If he gets a caution flag, it's probably going to be over. If he hits the white flag, he will be able to make it back to the start-finish line. So pretty much whatever happens now, as long as it doesn't involve Andrew Berger, he's going to win this race.
And definitely such a dominating performance. CJ Levere gaining little bit of time. He's worked that yet down to 8.3 seconds. But as you mentioned, it doesn't matter if a caution were to come out. He's got that lead as a truck right in front of him, though, catches the wall. He's got to be careful. That's a 10 to John Abbott. We've seen him struggling later on in this race. John is currently running 22nd, about 13 or 12 laps down. But the 24, Andrew Berger, is just going to try to finish this thing off. He was in no rush to put that 22 truck a lap down as he was looking to a couple laps earlier than this, but he's going to come to take lap 98. 3 laps to go to try to finish this thing off.
I think the best thing for Andrew Berger right here is just to kind of ease off and let these guys in front of them race. They're swerving and swaying at the big pack in front of them. There's no point in going up there and battling those two and risking losing the lead and losing the race because of that. He's got 2.5 laps. He has a 7.7 second lead, as now these lappers are probably affecting his lead a little bit, but still, that lead is big enough to where he can kind of relax and just drive these next 2 laps. He was able to get around the 25 to Ray Kingsbury and put him a 6th lap down, but the popsicle sticks are up into the air. 2 laps to go for Andrew Berger.
And that pack in front of him is all for position, so those guys aren't going to be going easy on him. They might not even know that his 24 truck is there. You see him hanging back. That's all for positions 8th through 13th. Those are the last group of cars on the lead lap. They're within about 2.5 seconds of each other, so they were obviously battling, trying to do some work there. Andrew Berger's going to come by, this time by to take the white flag.
The white silk is up in the air and flapping away one more time around the 1.5 mile Charlotte Motor Speedway for the number 24 Super Speedway Cup North team truck of Andrew Berger. This driver and this team picking right up where they left off last season. The team was able to overcome some bad runs towards the end of the season and pick up the championship. Berger was the driver championship for a fun statistic, but that fun statistic is being put to best use here tonight. Off a turn 4 through the quad oval, Andrew Berger is going to pick up the first win for the second season of the ETV Live Team Series presented by MTCO.com. CJ Lavere is going to come home here in second place. Brennan Schaberko third, and it looks like Steven Orlando and Glenn Hedrick are going to round out the top 5. Looking through the teams here, Brennan Schaberko and Glenn Hedrick, the Super Speedway Cup South teammates, they were able to finish 3 and 5, so some close top 2 teams there. I'll have to see where the third driver for that team finished and hopefully get a result on who came out the team victor for this event.
And another strong truck as the 24 is going to burn it down here at the start-finish line. Brandon Schaberko, we saw him, he was hanging up there at the front, spun through, he dropped back to 19th. We didn't see one caution, and he got it all the way back up to 3rd. So definitely a strong truck for that number 19, but it was all the number 24 machine of Andrew Berger tonight, and he is the rightful winner of this race.
Teammate in the number 21, Matt Bontempi, he is there to celebrate with his teammate. And it looks like the 22 coming around. The team is very happy that they got the driver win. Still up in the air if they got the team win, as all 4 of the Super Speedway Cup North and the Super Speedway Cup South members are going to burn it down. A huge team celebration victory here. We're going to send it off to commercial break. Let these guys finish up their burnouts, get out of their trucks, and we will talk to the top 3 drivers on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engine!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR race.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway as we have just wrapped up the first race in the second season for the ETV Live Team Series. Andrew Berger, in a dominating fashion, has picked up the victory, led 97 of the 100 laps here tonight. But before we get down to talk to him, I hear that we have Evan Pasoko down on pit road with the number 19 machine of Brendan Chaburko. This should be an interesting interview as Chaburko had some problems but fought back to finish third. Evan, I'm sure he's got to be pretty happy down there.
And that's right, we're down here on pit road right now with the number 19, the driver Brandon Chaburko. And Brandon, man, that was a fast truck. We saw you had some issues early on in the race. What happened up there?
I mean, I hadn't looked at the replay quite yet, but I think I got chopped by the 18 in the dog leg and managed to save it and get third. I was banging on a caution. I think I could have won the race.
And that's right, you dropped back to 19th position, and you made it up to get a top 3 with no cautions. Was that truck fast or what?
Oh yeah, it was really fast. I got to thank Jason Oltmans for the qualifying set and Matt Bontempi for the race set. It was really quick.
And you mentioned you were hoping on a caution. We saw a couple close incidents, but no caution came out. Do you think you could have got it if the caution flag flew?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this set was really fast. Would have been a good brawl between me and Andrew there at the end, I think.
Well, definitely a strong night out for all the Super Speedway Cup teams. Your Super Speedway Cup team, South, great night out. You managed to get third. Any shout-outs you want to throw out there?
Yeah, once again, Matt Bontempi for the race setup, Jason Oltmans for spotting me and the qual set that he provided, and Super Speedway Cup.
Well, definitely a somewhat satisfied number 19 driver, Brandon Chaburko, with a great truck, manages to work his way up to a top 3 finish at the season opener tonight.
Indeed he did, Evan, and I'm down here with the number 11 machine of CJ LeVere. CJ jumping on board the RSR Outlaw truck team for this season. Last season driving with the Full Throttle team and had some success. And continuing that success over here tonight, CJ, you were able to bring home second place here tonight. You were able to run Andrew Berger down a little bit, but with just the gap that he had, it wasn't quite possible. But still a good night for you and your team. Talk about it.
Oh yeah, we had a real good truck. We messed up in qualifying, and we had to start in the rear and come from the back, and putting it in second place is just awesome with no yellow flags. We couldn't close the gap, but I think if we would have had a caution there, we might have been able to give him a run for his money.
Charlotte Motor Speedway was not a speedway that we ran last season in the first season of the series, so a new venue here for you guys. Was there any track similar last season that you were maybe able to kind of take notes of, even though it was a different car than what we are running this season? Any notes that you guys were able to take heading into Charlotte this season, this week, to help it out and make it a successful night?
Not really. These trucks are so much different. A lot of draft, pretty much wide open here at Charlotte. It's not as, with the other car, you have to lift a lot. Here, this truck, you get it set up, you can run it right to the floor and never lift.
You had a decent amount of success last season in the Nationwide car. We're here with a truck. You showed off some great success early in the season. Do you think that you're going to be able to keep that going throughout the season? We've got some new tracks to the schedule this season. We're hitting a road course at some point in this season. So it's a totally different animal from last season, but do you still think that you can be as competitive and as strong contenders, you and your team, this season as you were last season?
Oh yeah, we're gonna go for it here. We got a strong team this year. We really putting some more focus into it. I think we're gonna be one of those teams. We were down a little bit today, but we'll make a comeback.
A fairly satisfied driver in the number 11, CJ LeVere, brings it home second. CJ, a new team, new teammates, new sponsors. I'm sure you got some new people to mention here for a pretty successful night at the first run for the new season.
Gotta thank ETV, HD Radio Network, all you guys that put on this team series. It's awesome. RSR for having me on the team. It's a great league, great place to race. Derek Spears Designs, Bob Burrow Race Seats, Inside Sim Race TV, iLeagueRace.com, HippiesPaintShop.com. They paint our cars. Go check them out. They are awesome paints. So many people make things happen here.
CJ LeVere in the number 11 machine for the RSR Outlaw Truck Team brings it home in second place. And I'm hearing word that Evan Pasoko has made it down to the Charlotte Motor Speedway victory lane, where he is about ready to celebrate with Andrew Berger, who I'm sure is pretty happy after a very dominating night. Evan, what about it?
And that's right, Andrew Berger climbing out of his truck, confetti and Gatorade everywhere. And Andrew Berger in his 24 truck, you saw him burn it down. And Andrew, what a dominating night. Walk us through a race where there's very minimum cautions. What kind of mindset does that give the driver?
Yeah, that race worked out perfectly for our strategy. We started off with a pretty loose setup there, banking on some long runs, long green flag runs, and that's exactly how the cars fell tonight. So, yeah, it was a very dominating performance for the entire Super Speedway Cup team. Unfortunately, a couple of the guys got involved in some incidents, not on their own, but even so, I know we got 2 in the top 5 at least, and I think 3 in the top 10, so it was a solid night for the Super Speedway Cup team.
And we noticed as green flag pit stops were starting at the midway point in this race, you had about a 4-second lead, and when it cycled through, it seemed everybody that was hanging out with you in the top 3 was gone, and you gained a lead of 7 seconds. What was the strategy there? We noticed you stayed out a little bit longer than some other trucks. Was there a reason behind that, or just going in when you wanted to run it dry?
Yeah, I pretty much just wanted to run it dry there. Yeah, like I said, I think that was when Rod and Frank, 2 of our teammates there, got involved in a little pit road incident. Took out the couple guys right there, but no, it was yeah, that was my strategy, to stay out as long as I could and get on pit road good, and try to get off of it. I'll get off pit road and just stay out front. It was a little tricky there navigating through some of the lap traffic there, especially at the end. I just kind of was going patient and half throttle there at the end, because those guys were starting to race and I didn't want to get involved in any wreck there. So I know CJ was starting to catch me a bit, but we held on there for the win there at the end.
And as this is our first race, Season 2, with these new trucks as opposed to the NASCAR Nationwide cars that you ran last season, you won the Drivers' Championship last season. What kind of challenges are there switching to a whole different race car for a new season?
Well, I said at the end of last season during that championship presentation that we'd be very strong, even stronger than last year, and I think we've pretty much proved that here tonight. And like I said that back then, we would rattle off a couple wins here in a row, and I think we're set to do that here, Dover next week, I believe, and then Daytona. So, yes, definitely watch out for this team, and we'll be there next week as well.
And definitely, and we heard CJ and Brandon mention that maybe if there was a caution, they might have been able to get something done. Do you think that you would still be the truck out front if there was a caution and we all grouped up? Do you think you could have got it done?
Oh, it sure would have made things interesting. Like I said, our setup tonight was more geared for the long run, so a short run there at the end would have certainly been interesting, to say the least, with the strong draft here. It's always a shootout there. So no, everything just kind of fell in our favor tonight, and we were able to kind of break out of that draft lock that sometimes happens in these Silverado trucks here. But no, I think we still would have ended up in victory lane tonight.
And definitely a strong night out, a new season, new truck, new sponsors. Who do you want to throw the shout-outs to?
I got to give a huge shout-out to Matt Bontempi and Jason Oltmans. They put great work into the qualifying and race setups tonight. They're certainly well-deserved victory for both of them and for all the Super Speedway Cup team. I got to thank Rod Flagg for putting these two teams, North and South Super Speedway Cup teams, tonight. Check us out at ssseries.com. We race a nice, fun Super Speedway Cup league on Friday nights on ETV Live. It's always fun. Gotta thank you guys, HD Radio Network, Jerry Wolf, Dakota Ehrman, just putting this whole show on. It's been a blast. Thanks.
So after 100 laps in the seemingly Andrew Berger 100 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, he puts his number 24 truck in victory lane.
Indeed, he did, Evan, a very happy driver behind the wheel of the 24 machine. And I'm sure we have a very happy series director in Jerry Wolf. Only one caution tonight, Jerry. It was lap 2, and everything else was green flag. So how are you feeling after this one?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, guys, pretty good opening to a beginning of a season here at Charlotte. You're right, caution there on lap 2. I was kind of a little skeptical there at the beginning. Guys got to remember, for all those that weren't with us last season and those returning this season, we got some guys came back, some guys left, and some new guys. So we got a little bit of a new dynamic here we need to learn getting these guys to mesh together and race together. And I tell you what, I walk out here tonight and I'm just shaking my head saying, man, I can't believe this is one of the greatest races I've seen in a long time. But if you guys do remember, Kyle Young, you were here last season. We had a couple races like this last season where good green flag runs all the way till about the end, and then at the end we'd rash out about 4 or 5 cautions. But man, when that first caution came out tonight on lap 2, guys, I was like, wow, this is going to be a rough night. Lap 101 showed up, and I was like, well, this is going to be a good race. And I think old Johnny up there, he was pretty happy too. So I can't say enough for the 8 teams that are here. 32 drivers this season. Hopefully we're going to see some really good bumper-to-bumper action. I'm glad to be in the trucks. They're kind of fun to watch. Other than that, like I said, I can't be happier, and I think Dakota's pretty happy with the way the night turned out. So hopefully we take this on over to Dover next week, and we go from there, guys.
A very, very happy Jerry Wolf, and understandably so. If this is a sign to anything to come for the rest of the season, we're going to have one great season like we did last season. Each and every single race last season was very entertaining to watch, and hopefully we get the same tone throughout the rest of this season as well. It should be fun to work with you throughout the entire season here, Evan. Final thoughts for you on tonight's event?
Well, I had the privilege of checking out Homestead at the end of last season, and that came down to a final team change in the last race for the championship, and a great way to kick things off tonight. We have the trucks, your classic 1.5-mile track. We saw some great racing, and like you mentioned, if that's a sign of anything to come, I'm excited to be along for the ride. It should be a great season. You mentioned a road course, so it's going to be good.
Indeed it will. You're probably wondering if you might have tuned out a little bit. Next week, we will be heading to the Dover International Speedway for 150 laps of action. The Real World NASCAR Series, all 3 just finished up their weekend there. So we will be taking to the track next weekend for 150 laps of competition in the gmercer.com 150 at Dover. For Evan Pasoko, J.D. Webb, John Wessling, Jerry Wolf, Dakota Ehrman, and all of the drivers, competitors, and teams for this season, it was a fun one to watch, and we hope it continues next week and throughout the entire season. My name is Kyle Young. Thank you for watching Season 2, Race 1 for the ETV Live Team Series. Check us out next Sunday night at 8 o'clock from the Dover International Speedway. We will see you then. Have a good night.